So this is, as we just discussed, the instructions for looking up items, and I want to quickly just give you a few examples of how to improve our titles. You first just search for the item, the URL will be there for you to look at, and then you review the title area, the image, and the bullet points here, as well as the description here at the bottom. So it's those four things that gives you information about the product, and you have to quickly, within a few, maybe 1 minute, choose the best title using, once again, the title itself, the label information, the image, the bullet points, and if you don't have a good sense of the product yet, if you don't understand it, or if you just need better search terms, come down here to the product description and add new information into the spreadsheet there. So in this case, I'm going to just copy and paste the title. Copying and pasting always makes it go faster. I'm going to go ahead and move the brand, because the brand is something that we don't always need. Usually I like to move it to the end, and I would say on about 80% of the items the brand is necessary. But you ask yourself this question: is the brand really helpful to the buyer? Do they need it? And if not, if it's like an example would be a doormat, the brand of a doormat does not matter. Therefore, you can leave it out and try to have better information. So let's just go back to completing this item. One thing I want to mention is the length of the title needs to be under 80 characters. So 80 characters or less is the total length of the title. So anytime that you're over 80 characters, you want to shrink it down to get it less than 81 characters. In this case, it's 84 right now, so we have to make sure by the time that we're done with it that it is 80 characters or less. So again, let's look at the picture and think about what makes this a good title. The image tells us a lot. I'm going to make sure that all this information is in there. Cedar oil restores the original aroma of cedar wood. That is good information. So I will just say restores aroma of cedar wood to make it simpler and shorter. Maybe I'll put a dash or a comma. Both of those will work. A dash or a comma will work to separate things that are confusing. And I'll just go ahead and put 8 ounces here to shorten it. And now I'm almost done. I haven't added anything new, so let's try to add one new piece of information from what we have available. The bullet points gives us 2 or 3 good things to try. Cedar oil doesn't matter. Country of origin does not matter. Deters insects. That's helpful. That's relevant. I'm going to add that. Just copy and paste it. The easiest thing to do. I'm going to put that right here on the end. Let's see if we're under 80 still. Yep, we're right at 79. So that is the end for that title, and I can just move on to the next one. So it's really that simple. Again, we're just trying to improve the title, and what you want to do is ask yourself 2 questions every time you're changing a title. Number 1, what are people typing what might people be typing when they're looking for this product? So those are the search terms that you're trying to add to the title. And number 2, separately, very important question to ask is, what do they want to see in the search results when they're scanning through a list of search results? Those kinds of search terms are also relevant. It may not be something that they type. It may be something that they would want to see that will convince them to click on the item. So we will be evaluating the sales of these products that our employees are changing the titles on, and what we want you to do is to try to come up with the best possible title, both in terms of good search terms and the titles that will look good to the buyers and convince them to click them because of the information that it contains and because it's a clear title. It makes sense to the buyer what it is. You don't want to put too many commas or too many dashes or too many adjectives in the title so that when they read it they think, what is that? I don't even understand what it is. The product should be very clear what it means when they just quickly scan over that title that you create. So in this case, we're just going to look again. This time the label gives us good information to work with. We don't have to scroll down this time, but sometimes when you don't understand it, just come down here, read through this. It'll give you good information about what the product is, and it will help you create a good title because you understand the product. One important point before we add this information is never force it. If you don't understand what you're adding to the title and you see something in the bullet points that doesn't really make sense to you or doesn't really help, like here's an example, available in 2 formulas. Well, that is a bullet point, but does it really help? Not in this case, no. It's not very useful, so don't just add something because it's there. You only want to add something that you think would help you if you were shopping for that product. So let's just go back and go ahead and change this title. Again, I usually copy and paste it. And now I just change it right there in the new title area. Because it says Ambi Skincare right on the label, I'm going to leave Ambi there. Most of the time I put Ambi on the end by either, meaning I put the brand on the end. I usually put either dash brand or I put by and the brand on the end. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and leave it at the beginning because it's so prominent on the label. It says skincare on the label. I'm going to have skincare, leave skincare there as well. Fade cream, yes, fade cream is already there. Normal skin is there. We'll go ahead and leave the normal skin there because it's on the label and it is relevant. And then here it says fades dark spots. That's the next thing on the label. And then my question is to myself is, does that help? Yes, that's helpful to someone that wants a beauty product like this. They want something that fades dark spots. That may be something they even type in the title. So I'm going to go ahead and put that right here before the 2 ounces. Fades dark spots. This has 2 commas. That's usually the most commas you'll ever want in a title because too many commas makes it a little confusing. But in this case, it does help to have commas to separate those different search terms. So I will leave it there. And then the last thing to talk about is a very important point. It says pack of 2. And I am going to leave that. And on Amazon at least, you'll see things like pack of 2. Basically, it's an option. There are options for certain products. Not all of them, but some of them have options. And you can tell by this orange highlighting and the orange border around it. See how it says 2 and it's highlighted? That means this product, which means this unique ASIN, which each product on Amazon has an ASIN. It's that unique identifier for that product. That option is referring to that ASIN. If I click here, watch how things change. Now this is orange. It reads pack of 4. And the ASIN down here will be different. So whatever, we're giving you a list of unique ASINs, unique products on Amazon. We will also do other sites as well. But on Amazon, you'll want to put in the title whatever this says when you need to make clear to the buyer that it is that particular option, that variation of the product. In this case, it is a pack of 2. It shows 2 here. It's highlighted. It's orange. You know it's a pack of 2. They would not know it from the picture. Therefore, you want to include the words pack of 2 or 2-pack, something like that. That makes it clear that this is a pack of 2 for this particular product. Let me give you another example just so it's really clear. And I'm going to pull it directly from this Help tab that I'm going to go over in a little bit, which is a chance for you to read through these instructions in detail after this tutorial. Let's go ahead and look at another product that has options. See, here it is. 5 gallon is highlighted. It shows 5 gallon in the orange box in the highlighting. It's not 1 gallon. Now it's the 1 gallon, but the one that we actually pulled up, this unique ASIN on Amazon, is a 5 gallon. We want to show 5 gallon in the title because it says 5 gallon here. But there's a big but here, and that is when it's really clear in the picture what the item is, do not put the option in the title. Right now you cannot tell from the picture that this is 5 gallons, so yes, we do want 5 gallons to show in the title. But let's just say the option was blue, right? Let's say there was green, blue, red, yellow, and blue was the option that was selected for this product. If it's a blue ball, for example, in that case, it does not matter that it's a blue option, and we can leave out blue from the title. So when the picture is obvious, there is no need to show that option in the title. When it's clear that the option is when the picture clearly shows what the option is, for example, a blue ball, and it shows blue, you do not need to put that option in the title because the image will make that clear. So just let me know if you have questions on that, because we get a lot of questions around these different options, and I'm trying to explain it as clearly as I can, but I know that it can be confusing, so just ping me on Skype if you have questions about that. Now, let's just go, let me just point to one other thing. As you're going through the items, you may come across items that we want you to skip. For now, as of today, October the 11th, 2016, we want you to skip these items which are in the Help tab, which it will be in every file that I send you. So clothing items, and that really only means items that are pants or shirts or shoes, basically anything that you might try on and that may not fit and therefore has a high likelihood of being returned. We are skipping those items now. And what you want to do is skip clothing, books. You also want to skip food items. That means anything, even powders or mixes that you might mix and drink. But basically anything that's a food item that you would eat or drink, we want to skip that. You want to skip blurry images when it's a small image or no image, or if the item does not exist, and then music and DVDs. And what you do as you're going through your list and you're typing out all of your titles, there's a notes column here, and what you want to do is just simply type skip dash and then the reason. For example, if it was clothing, type it out, and then you move on to the next product and you're done with that one. So that allows you to keep moving and just leave that title blank for those items that you skip. We try not to give you skipped items or items that need to be skipped, but occasionally you'll see them. There are also items that you'll want to make a note of but do not skip, and that list is here in the second section. And then finally, in this Help tab, please review it very carefully, read through each item, and think through what it means as you learn how to do this process, and ask me questions if you don't understand some of these points. But basically this gives you hints, and there's some more tips down at the bottom that you may want to read through, and there's even a link on how to create good titles on eBay to help you improve and get better and better at this process of choosing good titles and moving quickly. The speed that we shoot for right now is basically you want to shoot for about 1 a minute. On average, we usually see folks completing 40 to 50 per hour as they go through and look these up one by one and just create a new title and move on. So we hope that you will read carefully through here. We're going to give you some examples in this third tab called Sample Title Changes that should help you get an idea of what other folks have done as they've created new titles. And now it's just a matter of you going through and practicing reading through these tips. For example, an important tip here is you'll see part numbers like this right here in the title sometimes. You can delete those except for things like industrial items, household appliances, things that people might actually be searching for the item by part number. So the key questions again is ask yourself, what do people want to see when they're searching, and then what might they type when they're searching? Those two questions will help you create good titles every time. So again, just let me know if you have any questions, but hopefully this Help tab and the Sample Titles tab will help you work through it all.